Hey everybody, Joe here, K7JOE, and we're in the Ham Shack today, getting ready for field day. And one of the things that I'm working on is some antennas for field day. I've always had very good luck with the doublet style antenna, which is just a simple ladder fed antenna with a random length of wire. This year I plan to probably use the now becoming famous ZS6BKW antenna, which is a derivative of a G5RV that's been computer optimized by Brian ZS6BKW, and it works very well with a very low SWR on 40, 20, 17, 12, and 10 meter band. Of course, I'll optimize it for 40 and 20 meter use, and maybe we'll get lucky, we'll have a 10 meter opening or a 15 meter opening, but generally 40 and 20 are the money bands for field day, at least during the daylight hours and into the evening. And so I'm going to use the doublet, the ZS6BKW, which does not require any kind of tuner on those two bands. It demonstrates a very low standing wave, especially in the segment of the band that I like to operate, which is the CW portion of the band. I have optimized this antenna, and it works great. And so I wanted to make sure that I talked a little bit about it. For 80 meter band, it will load up. It's got about a 3-to-1 standing wave on the low end of 80, which is actually fine. Most tuners can handle it. It's a little bit short. It's a total length of about 96 feet long, and then a 40-foot ladder line or 39.5-foot ladder line. And then it's got a balun and then coax. What I particularly like about it is that the low standing wave ratio that's presented on the antenna on 40 and 20 meters reduces the feed line loss. And so there's very minimal standing waves on the feed line, on the coaxial feed line, and so the loss is pretty minimal. So it works good. I've had really good luck with the ZS6BKW. However, it can be a little bit noisy, and so one of the tricks that I wanted to talk about today was how I quiet down the ZS6BKW. So let's take a look real quickly here at the modification that I've done. It's very simple, and I'll explain what it does. Okay, here you go. This is the center insulator for the ZS6BKW. What I particularly like about this antenna is it is super lightweight. Other than the balun at the bottom and the coax, which can literally be just 3 or 4 feet off the ground, this antenna weighs probably 3 pounds, and so it doesn't need much. This center insulator is just a piece of fiberglass. I think it's off an old MFJ antenna. Just a piece of fiberglass. I loop my rope through that top hole, and then the ladder line comes in, and you can see the ladder line, 40 feet of ladder line, 46 feet each of the legs. It's just soldered on. But the modification that I do is this 3.3 mega ohm 3-watt resistor across the two leads. Now, what does this do? Well, normally a ZS6BKW antenna is not grounded. That is to say, one of the leads and the other lead are not at the same potential. And so what this does is it basically bleeds off the static from the leg that's not grounded. And you say, well, where does the antenna get the ground? Well, normally what I do is I will take the coaxial barrel connector here. I'll put the connection on to go to go back to the to the radio. Then I'll take a hose clamp and I'll connect the hose clamp to that coax cable PL259 with a ground rod, or sorry, a ground wire, and then a ground rod going into the ground. And so that grounds the coax shield side of the antenna. But the hot is not at DC potential. And so what I do is, by putting this 3.3 mega ohm resistor on there, any static that builds up will essentially be drained off to ground. And I find that really quiets the antenna down, especially on 40 and 75 meters. When we're in that thunderstorm season, where there could be thunderstorms, not necessarily in the immediate area, but thunderstorms within a 100-mile radius, which we sometimes have, and we continue to operate, of course, during field day, unless things get really unsafe. And this is just a great practical application of some grounding and some silencing of the antenna. It really reduces that rain static buildup. So even if there's not lightning, sometimes you'll get some rain in the area, and the rain, for whatever reason, will cause the noise level to go up, and this helps to keep that in control. So I found really simple. It's a 3.3 mega ohm, 3-watt resistor. I suppose you could use a lower wattage. I've generally used the 3-watt resistors, and that's good for at least a kilowatt of power. I've never had a problem with those. I suppose if you wanted to run just 100 watts, you could probably use a quarter watt or a half watt 3 mega ohm resistor, and that would be fine. You can go as low as 2 meg, but I generally use 3 mega ohm. It just seems to be the ones that I had in my junk box. You can buy these on eBay for about, I don't know, 60 cents a piece. And they're just real simple. Just solder between the two connection points there, and off you go. If it were to get damaged, you'd certainly see it blow open, but I doubt it would do that. I've had antennas with these
resistors across them for years and they don't get damaged. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, draining off the static. Okay, that's my tip for the day. Good luck with field day. We'll catch you all later and see you on the air. K7JOE.